everyone, it's Lindsay Hoffman and welcome to Dose of Bliss at Home. I am so excited. We have Nakeah Fuller. She's back. She's been on the show before, one of your favorite episodes. She drove with a screwdriver to make her dreams come true. And she is a celebrity makeup artist. Today's episode, we are going to be talking about the Black Lives Matter movement and how you can be an ally. I am so happy to have you here today.
Thank you. So happy to be here. So excited.
While this movement's going, of course, growing up, have learned about racism and different things, but this is the first time in my history really experiencing protests like this and things like riots. And during this time, I realized that I've never really sat down and asked a Black person about race and been shy to talk about that. If you're not really growing up like me in a mainly white community, you feel nervous to ask questions. How can we open up these conversations and feel comfortable?
I think it's important just to be yourself and just to communicate and ask questions. I always share from experience, and I've had several friends, customers to reach out to me, Lindsay, and say, Nakeah, how are you doing? Are you okay? Is there anything that I can do? And I just think that's so kind. You know, it's so sweet because it is a very painful time. There's a lot of racial tension. There's a lot of tension in general because of the pandemic. A lot of people are just frustrated and irritated on top of what's going on with the riots, on top of the death of George Floyd, on top of everything else that we've had to consume. And so now the tension has just it's exploded. And to have friends to reach out and say, how are you? Are you okay? And genuinely want to make sure that I'm okay. That means a lot. It really, really does, you know? And it just says to me that those are true friends and they really care, you know? So I feel like just checking on your loved ones, and I will say this, Lindsay, I've learned a lot over the past couple of weeks in regards to the way people think, the way people feel, people that I know personally that I didn't know were racist, people that from my hometown and the community, why they feel the way they feel. I've asked a lot of questions myself. And I've even had, particular family member to reach out because of a post, and she was very upset with me about a post. And I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea that you are offended. But we were, raised differently. I grew up in a different community. I matured in a different community. So I wasn't trying to offend her, but she was highly offended. And I said, oh no, and I felt bad about it. But to answer your question, Lindsay, I would say just love on everybody, Black, white, Hispanic, Asian. Right now, especially the Black community. Be patient, love on them, and just let them know that you do care and that you're not racist, and I think that's important because that support is appreciated. It really is.
That's the reason a lot of people are afraid, like how you talked about how someone kind of came at you. I think people are afraid to say something. I know for me, I was thinking, what if I say something the wrong way? Because the way people talk to people, or at least the way I do, I try to find a way that I can relate the closest I can from my own experiences. That's kind of like what empathy is. We try to see ourselves within others so that we can understand it. But that could be taken the wrong way. How can we have these communications and really just, everyone's kind of grown up in different ways and we all have our own personal experiences. And what can we do to kind of show people that we're coming from a place of love and be open? If we can't have these conversations, we can't grow.
I agree 100%. I feel that asking them how they feel, ask them to share some experiences they've had. Because I will share with you, one of my team members, someone who used to teach at my makeup academy, she had no idea of the experiences that I've had. And I'm sure it shocked her. And then she understood why. I'm like, Black Lives Matter. I'm not saying that because I'm Black. I'm not saying that to be racist. I'm saying it for love and passion for for everyone. All lives matter. We know that. But when she heard my experience, she said, now I understand. I understand, because I would never think that someone would treat you that way, because she knows me.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I never would imagine someone treating you that way or saying that to you or not wanting to serve you at a restaurant because of the color of your skin. Nakeah, are you kidding me? She knows I'm a love bug. I love everybody. I don't see color. I see beauty.
Mm-hmm. We feel and see energy.
Yes. And so for me to go into a restaurant, 5-star restaurant, sit down, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, and I see the waitress walking past me, walking all around me. And I said to myself, excuse me. And she looks and she's like, and I said, I've been sitting here for almost half an hour. I just want to, order some food. And she looked at me and she walked away, like, the nerve. And she sent a different waitress over.
Oh
And
my.
I said, did her shift end? She says, no. I said, why? This is her section. Are you guys just that busy? Because I don't see you guys being that busy. And she said to me, Lindsay, I'll take your order. I said, tell me what's the problem, because she wouldn't even speak to me. And I just want to place an order. I hope I didn't offend her. And she came right over to me and she looked me in my eyes. She said to me, I do not serve your kind.
Oh my gosh.
Right. And this is in 2020. And I said, excuse me? And she repeated it. And she looked me dead in my face to make her point very clear. And she walked away. And I was so crushed, because I'm like, oh my God. So I called the manager. He said, explain it to me again. He couldn't believe it. He stood there for a few minutes. He took her to the back and he talked to her, and he came out and he apologized and he offered my meal complimentary. And I said, no, thank you. I said, I will not. I've been to this restaurant numerous times. I will not come back. So make a long story short, she was dismissed that day.
Mm-hmm.
But I shared this with my friends who've said, tell me your experiences. How are you feeling? I may be their only Black friend. A couple of them I am, but they cared enough to listen. And when I shared how that made me feel, they said, so then I can understand. Now I understand it better when I see the pain, the sweat, because I just literally for a moment put myself in your shoes, knowing your heart, knowing how much you love, know people, how much you care genuinely, how you brighten everyone's day, and how you've empowered and helped so many people of every race, of every culture. How dare her do that to you? And she said to me, I understand. So I think asking them, asking them to share an experience, share an experience so that you can better relate and understand. I think that makes a huge difference, Lindsay, because it gives you that moment to envision being in that person's shoes.
In that moment. And you handled it so amazingly. And have you had other experiences like that?
Oh my gosh, that was the first one, I would say, in a very, very long time. I will say, because of the industry that I'm in, I will say I've had this time, as I mentioned to you, to connect with friends from back home in Texas and family members who are upset or hurting, and they live in a different community. Being in LA, I'm around, and this is one of the things I love about our industry, Lindsay. I love that there's so much culture.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that I have a gorgeous blonde. I have, I may have someone from Switzerland, someone from Italy, someone from Mexico, and so I'm surrounded by culture, and I love that. But being from Texas and being from in the South, most of my family and friends there are Black neighborhood, white neighborhood, Hispanic neighborhood. Everything is so segregated to where it's very different, and there's not as much culture as there is in California. So I understand that they can't relate to my love and my passion for culture and being around diversity.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, I learned in the past couple of weeks, a lot of people are not around diversity. They wake up, they're in a Black neighborhood, or they're in a white neighborhood. They go to a Black school, or they go to a white school. I mean, it's very, very rare. Or they may have someone on their job, maybe that's from a different race. But I realized that where I've been in Los Angeles since 2005, Lindsay, that I'm surrounded by so much culture, to where I don't see, I'm not around that. Now, don't get me wrong, because it is loud and clear in certain parts of our industry, in entertainment. That's very obvious. However, for me, I have, as a makeup artist, yes, I've had challenges. I will share where it's often between me and someone who's white when it comes to a big campaign. And I have to prove myself even harder. I will say that. I remember my agent pulling every Black model out of my portfolio.
Oh my gosh. Why is that?
I trusted her, and I remember going home the first time she did that, and I was very upset and crying because I felt so insulted. She said, beautiful, but you can only have one Black model in your book. And I said, and I was so hurt because these girls were beautiful, and I'm like, she says, I can't use these shots. You only get one. And she left one Black model in my portfolio, and the rest of my portfolio were all Caucasian, one Hispanic, one Asian, rest blonde, brunette. And that was just the rule. And I was so upset by that because I didn't understand it, but I started working. I started getting booked. Coca-Cola commercials, AT&T commercials. I mean, like all these big campaigns. And she said, trust me, I got you. You are my most talented artist on the roster. I got you. So I had to, but also being in the industry, I had to prove myself as well. Because a lot of times, Lindsay, me walking on a set, and I'm the only African-American on set, a lot of times it's like, can she do my makeup?
I can't even imagine someone thinking that. I mean, I see it. I look at you and think she's so stylish. I know she can do makeup, and she could probably pick out my clothes too, just by looking at your makeup and clothes.
Thank you. It's amazing how many times, and I've had people to ask me. I mean, I've had models, I've had customers to straight up ask me, can you do my skin? Just because I'm Black. I've had a customer say, do you have, foundation in my color? And I say, yes, I do. My beauty line, a lot of times, Lindsay, I want to share with you, people feel that because I'm Black, that my makeup line is for Black women only.
Mm-hmm.
And so I push the envelope there because I love all skin. And as you know, my line is for every skin tone. It's for every ethnicity. And I discovered years later that that's quite surprising. It's surprising because, and I probably should let you answer that question, because I'm a Black woman.
I guess subconsciously you're thinking, well, this person looks like me, so they must be selling to me, without even realizing that's what you're doing.
Yes. And I had to accept the fact that I've had to accept that. And for those who don't know me personally, now photographers, renowned photographers, models, people that know me in the industry, they expect me to have a very wide range because they know that I'm a true artist. And when you're truly talented, and I share this with my students at my makeup academy, Lindsay, when you're truly talented, you should not be put in a box unless you choose this particular box to be in. Mm-hmm. Because I'm so passionate about every skin tone. And some of my clients, from Harrison Ford, Pierce Brosnan, Chaka Khan, the list goes on. And the models, every model, I just see beauty, whether she's blonde, redhead, Black, African, I just see the beauty, the features, the uniqueness of every last one of them. And so my entire career, it has been, let's put her in a box. Let's stick her over at BET. Yes, she can do Black beauty only. And I'm like, but I love all beauty. But I will tell you, I've learned to appreciate the fact that that's what makes me and my brand different. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. And for those who do focus on Black beauty, and for those who do focus on white beauty, that's for them. Mm-hmm. And so I had to learn to accept my own identity. I just love beauty. Mm-hmm. All beauty. It doesn't matter. And that's just, people still have a hard time with it, but I have clients all over the world that are from Italy, France, and they just trust me. They just say, Nakeah, what you got new coming out? I need to refresh, my makeup kit, and they don't ask those questions, but then there's always those people. And then there are people that said, you know what? I found that very unique about you. I've had people to be honest with me, Lindsay, and say, when I saw that you were a Black woman and you have my color, when I saw that you were a Black woman and you knew that you knew exactly what I needed for my skin, I trusted then that you're very talented. You're naturally talented. This isn't just a brand that's endorsed by a celebrity. This
Mm-hmm.
is just a brand that has a celebrity name on it. No, you are the creator behind the brand, and that made me more interested.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've learned to just be okay with that. But there's some people that have gotten offended when I mean, post a blonde model. She's white, she's blonde, she's
So
gorgeous.
interesting.
They get offended. Oh, so she only does white girls. Then I have people that when I post a Black model, oh, she only does Black, and I'm just like, oh God, why can't we just say she does beauty?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Why aren't we at that point yet? We should want to have a conversation. And if someone doesn't understand, I find, because I talk about motivation things, a lot of people just don't understand things because they're not used to it, or they're maybe not comfortable, because if you grew up a certain way, you might feel shy. You might just not know. And that's okay. You should want to feel comfortable to ask someone like you, what is your experience? How did you deal with it? Is it okay to ask a question? I even sat here feeling nervous. Is it okay to ask you? Is asking you, are you okay during this time? Is that enough? Am I going to come off wrong? And, if you're having those questions, you should just ask.
Right. I agree, Lindsay, and I'm very honored. I'm very honored and glad that you asked me. I feel like I am the right one to ask because am I hurting? Yes. Is it painful? Yes. What happened to George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and a long list of others, it's very sickening. It's sad. It's heartbreaking. It's unbelievable, but it's real. And so am I going to attack you because of it? No, you didn't do it. How what I would say what you could do to help is to be sympathetic, which I personally know that you are. You wouldn't have asked me to be a part of this interview if you were not. I feel like you're from my soul that your intentions are great. However, there are some interviews that I have turned down because their intentions were not so great. We have not had a Black person on our show. Oh my God, let's call Nakeah. You genuinely through your emails, so our conversation, our chats, want to help and figure out what can you do to help. How do you approach the situation? But there are some people that are like, all of a sudden now they're interested in bringing Black people on because it will help their business, so they won't look prejudiced or they won't appear to be a certain type of way. I won't judge them because I don't know them personally. I know you've interviewed me before. I followed your career. I've done my research. I seriously feel that your request was not biased or was not didn't have bad intentions. However, understanding the pain of the Black community is important for everyone. A lot of people don't understand. They will never understand. And I've come to realize that just by some of the posts that I've seen each time I've said Black Lives Matter. I've had people to get offended. I've had people to block me, delete me. And it's like you won't understand until you've literally been in that restaurant and someone told you they don't want to serve you because of the color of your skin. When you could be the person to help change their life.
Yes, exactly. That's what my show, like Dose of Bliss and everything I talk about, is dedicated to, because you could be mean to a person or ignoring a person and that person can change your life, and you're missing that opportunity. And I believe that when people act like that, where are they in their life? Like, people treat people the way they feel about themselves. So if they're doing that to you, who knows what's really going on in their life? They're missing all these opportunities. Whereas you're not, and you're finding opportunities because you're putting that energy out there. And, my mom would always say, oh, well, you wouldn't do that to somebody because you're happy. You don't do that to yourself. So that's why. And she would kind of try to explain that to me. And it really makes sense, because when I wanted to do this video, I felt your energy from the moment we first met. And I was just like, she is someone who I can't even put words to it. You have this energy that like transcends of like healing and calm, and truly, and this must be why you work in the beauty industry, like make someone feel good about themselves from the inside out. And I just want to know more about what makes you be that way, and how can we help other people feel that way, and how can this video be a resource for people who maybe they're, you know, not posting about the movement, not because they don't care, but because they don't know how to feel. They're still digesting it, and maybe they're just watching and they're listening and they're learning.
I am a happy person. I've had to find my happiness through my passion. Um, I push and encourage everyone to do that because it makes you think differently. Wasn't always here. It makes you think differently. It makes you look at things in a different perspective. I say, hey, here's Lindsay. Lindsay's not Black, so she won't understand, but that's okay because guess what? I will share that with her. I will help her understand. I'm not going to mistreat you because you don't understand. I'm not going to call you names because you don't understand. I will share with you, and then that's it. And then we sit down and we have some Thai. I'm thinking Natalie Thai, and we have some Thai food and a cocktail, and we talk about the next show and the next subject and how we can help each other.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that it's all about the personality of the person, number one, but I just appreciate the sensitivity. Let me say that because it is a sensitive matter when you've been mistreated, and a lot of people are carrying that anger. And I just refuse to, the anger is there, the frustration is there, but I refuse to allow it to consume me, Lindsay, because I want to I want to focus on the positive. I want to focus on people like you who are not prejudiced, because people that are racist do not deserve my energy. They don't deserve your energy. They don't deserve anyone's energy because that's their own issue.
Mm-hmm.
That's their own demon that they're fighting. So that why give that demon my energy or your energy? So I'm not going to focus on the ones who are racist because they're not a part of my destiny. They're not a part of your destiny. That they will have to, number one, face God. Number two, they have to deal with that on their own. I'm not going to try to fix them. Now, do I believe in pushing and fighting for what's right? Equality? Absolutely. 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 But the evil things that are behind it, like the name calling, the mistreating, the looting, all of that, no. And I just, I want no parts of the negative side of it because there's so many more things that we can be focused on.
I think there's a difference of negative energy is such a strong energy, but we can use that energy to make change. What changes do you see changing over time?
Let me say this. We can only hope, we can only pray that everyone begins to think about how they treat people. Mm-hmm. I will say to you, Lindsay, racism is taught. We are not born racist. We are not. I shared with you, I posted an image on my Facebook page and in my Instagram stories of 4 children, 3 little Black boys and a little white boy playing. And they were just, you could see the love and just, they didn't see color. And someone texted me and said, how dare you? What are you trying to say? And I said, oh, and it's just like, I literally just said, I have to delete and block some people. So I think a lot of that is going on because that picture did not say racism, it said love. Mm-hmm. And so I'm hoping that everyone will take this time to stop and think about themselves, how they can better themselves, how they can help others, how they can stop any form of racism, because it does exist. There are people that secretly do it by not bringing on, people that are like Black actors, Black models. Black models get lower pay grade. I just pray that now people will begin to look at the talent mm-hmm. opposed to the color of our skin. I've had to fight a lot harder as a makeup artist in Hollywood and in the industry, period, around the world. And my agent told me, who's white, she said, you have to be 10 times better. You can't, you have to be 10 times better. She didn't say because you're Black, but I knew that. And so I'm just we're hoping for change to where it's like, no, allow her to just be talented. Why can't she just be judged on her talent? And she said to me, sometimes when she would go into meetings, they would want to meet the artist. She would go in on my behalf. She's gorgeous, redhead. She would go in on my behalf because she didn't want them to know that I was Black. So I understand that. And that's what I'm hoping will change. And even from my industry, I know for a fact that there are very few brands, beauty brands, that have Black employees, but the Black communities are the ones that support, that buy. And so I'm not saying stop buying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I hope that everyone that has the power to make the changes. When I hire my staff, I don't say I need one white girl, one Black girl, two Hispanics.
Yeah.
I want to know what that resume says and are you qualified?
And it's really
Period.
a testament to you too, as well. Like, I can't even imagine someone going in being like, I need to do this meeting for you to help you, which is amazing that she wanted to do that to help you. You know, that's at least a start. But to be able to sit back and say, I understand why this is happening and I need to do this to get to where I want to be so that I can like make a change, and to really sit back. I have no words for it, you know?
Thank you. It's one of those situations, and I'm not the only one, Lindsay, obviously, obviously I'm not the only one that, I know several Black actors, actresses, producers, directors, oh my God, Oprah Winfrey. I mean, I can go on and on, who had to just kind of sit back and wait their time. And they knew that they were not being chose or selected because of the color of their skin. So it's out there, Lindsay. I cannot say it's not. It's obviously it is. It's sad. It's heartbreaking. But at the same time, what do? You don't let it stop you, but you don't abuse. You don't, start a war. That's not how you handle it. I feel that with the rioting and everything that's going on in our nation right now, I feel like there's greatness on the other side of this.
I do too.
Yeah, I feel like there's greatness on the other side. And soon there will be equality, and we will be able to stand, and you won't have to be sensitive to, a Black person if you ask them how they're doing today. And what do you mean, Lindsay? How am I doing? You don't have to worry about that. I hope that's the goal, to where you can just say, how are you doing today? And it's no tension. There's no tension,
Yeah, that's the dream. And I mean, we are the change we want to see in the world. And it's true. Be the change you want to see. And I do believe the change will help happen. I know I'm going to bring up my kids to learn about this. And I hope that their generation will have a better, and each generation, and there will always be more to learn. You can never be perfect, but I do hope and do see that it will be better. And I'm glad I'm getting chills that you feel the same way. Can you please share with us what you have coming up?
Yes, well, Brunch and Beauties. That's my new baby that is underway. I'm known, people call me the branding queen, because I love branding. I love helping other businesses to brand, other business owners to brand themselves. Solid, clean. It's interesting because, Lindsay, people say, how do you get to be at the Oscars and the SAG Awards? You're on the red carpet and you're doing all these fabulous things. And I just realized it was great branding. So I put together a digital course on how to brand your business, to teach others how to solidly brand your business. And so bringing women together to Women's Network. So I'm bringing women together to network amongst each other, and just great energy to celebrate our successes, to empower, to have resources within our community. Having the right resources and having a great network is everything. And it's proven in every industry. And Brunch and Beauties will allow me to bring all these women, amazing women like yourself, together to say, hey, let's sit down, let's brunch in power. Let's talk about how we can help one another, how we can uplift one another. Someone already asked, is it for Black women or is it for, it's for every woman. It's for every woman. And so we all need to be empowered. We all need to be uplifted. We all need to be supported. And I feel that when you have a great network, Lindsay, it makes all the difference in the success of your business. It's been exciting, but we are launching the website. You will find it on all of my websites. And then we're waiting, hoping that the world opens back up. None of us know right now, to where it's safe for us to sit at a table.
Mm-hmm.
I want everyone to have a seat at the table so that we can connect and shake all the tension, all the racial tension, and just help support one another. So in the interim of that, we'll be doing some digital meetings online, virtual meetings, online, so that I can begin the introduction. So
I will link
next couple of weeks.
I will link all of that below so everyone can check it out and follow you. Thank you so much for coming on the show today and having this much needed conversation. I mean, it's clear to anybody watching that all you need to do is ask. I mean, I'm learning as I'm doing this interview. These are literally things that I was like wondering, and I'm so happy that you want to share that with me. Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, Lindsay. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.